A very warm welcome to the Indian Diaspora podcast. We have a very distinguished guest today, someone who is a senior investigative professional who has served in both national and international stages. So he started off as an Indian Forest Services officer, then transitioned to an Indian Police Services officer, and has handled senior important cases in several fields, including frauds, counterterrorism, you name it. If you think that is already fascinating, he transitioned to the international, the global stage later, and has contributed immensely to international organizations such as the Interpol as well as United Nations. So in 2020, his work with the World Food Programme won the Nobel Peace Prize. I can go on talking about his work, but let's give him the stage and ask him some questions then. So a very warm welcome to you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Harjit.
Thank you, Ameya. It's pleasure speaking to you, and definitely pleasure sharing my thoughts with you and about my career journey. 43 years by now.
Since this is a very intriguing field, I would want to ask you, what is the reality behind how investigations happen, how police are perceived, what happens behind the scenes? The reason I'm asking you this is because most of the information that we as common people we get is through movies or serials, and some things are also from the news showing heroism, or police are portrayed as teaming up with politicians, they're behind all the crimes and all of this. So what is reality?
Thank you, Ameya. Excellent question, because all the movies, be it anywhere in the world, you take India or you take Hollywood or anywhere else, they show these superhumans.
Yeah.
Whether it is Dabangg or there are so many Rambo type movies.
Yeah.
In reality, it is not like that.
Yeah.
Because in reality, I will say that policemen or women are made of same flesh and blood. So rest of the human beings in the society, the way they are behaving, same is police in that.
Yeah.
And the real investigation and law enforcement work is very hard work. It's not like 9 to 5 job.
Yeah.
You finish it and go home. No, is sometimes you are in the midst of something, you are in a surveillance, it can go on for the whole night, you are there, and even on weekends you have to do. But in reality, if you do anything that is little excessive use of force, you will be hauled up in the court. So it doesn't happen like Dabangg type, or Singham type. There is no Singham, male Singham or female Singham or something. In reality, you cannot do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So just a follow up again. How do these investigations happen? As in, what goes behind these? How your work?
Ameya, the investigation, I say that is a combination of science and art. So I say it is science married to art.
Yeah.
So like art, it is where your intuition works, but at the same time, you have to do it very, very systematically, like science.
Right.
Because if you collect evidence which is not legally collected, it does not stand in the court.
Yeah.
Then the case will be thrown out. I've seen many such cases. Yeah. But in reality, it's very difficult because, of course, systematically you keep on doing, and the real purpose of any investigation is to get the prosecution successfully.
Yeah.
So if the person gets acquitted, then that means either it is, of course, many times they get acquitted due to judicial gymnastics or judicial jugglery.
Yeah.
The lawyers are expert in that. As they say, behind every successful criminal, there is an unscrupulous lawyer. Wow. Or you can say behind that is a very good lawyer. This unscrupulous, some people say, but I will say behind every successful criminal, there is a even more successful lawyer. Right. Because the lawyer's job is to get his client acquitted.
Yeah.
I have some very good friends who are defense lawyers, and sometimes when we talk of that, I myself have done law also.
Yeah.
So when we talk of that, they say, no, see, our job is to get the person acquitted.
Yeah.
As a defense lawyer. Yeah. And sometimes they do all sorts of tricks.
Yeah.
And we have to do something is like outwitting each other. So it's interesting, but it's definitely complex. and lot of sometimes forensic evidence you have to collect it. And now with this new, is no longer like what they show in movies. Put the man upside down and thrash him to obtain confession. Confession has no value.
Yeah, yeah.
Confession in India is not admissible,
Okay.
and confession in the Western world, you cannot use force to get that.
Okay, yeah.
And in the Western world, you have to give that caution that anything you say may be held against you. So why a criminal will say give any evidence against himself or herself?
Yeah, yeah.
But this is legally required. You have to say here that okay, we are recording your statement. Anything you say may be held against you. So in UK, many times they say I exercise my right to silence. So right to silence, yes,
Yeah,
they have.
did not even
then
know that's the thing.
Then it is for the investigator to go and get evidence from elsewhere.
Yeah,
But don't expect from the accused to get the evidence.
yeah, yeah,
And that sometimes is not that easy.
yeah.
I often say that ask no questions, hear no lies. Because the accused will always, the accused will give evidence against himself. That is
Yeah.
very simple.
Yeah,
So it's a systematic work. You keep doing systematically, collect all evidence so that it is put up there. Then it has to face the scrutiny of the defense lawyer, scrutiny by the judge or the trial chamber, depending on what it is.
yeah.
But if you do systematically, I think that is why there are so many successful prosecutions.
Right. How did you get into investigative services? How was your how was your upbringing like? And
You know, I mean, I come from a very small village in Amritsar, where this, in my family, at least in my extended family, the highest academic distinction was metric. That my father had metric, and nearby there was nobody who we could see. And when I started school, it was just like I have to stand first. That was the only aim. I wanted to be a doctor. I could not become a doctor. Then joined bachelor's BSc in the college. Afterwards, went to MSc, Master of Science. Again, it continued. The only thing common throughout was that I have to be first in academics and also in sports. Then started my PhD again. The aim was I wanted to be professor. My father said, "Come and take care of our factory and the agriculture. That should be fine." I said, "Okay, let me finish my PhD. Okay, then I will decide." So after during PhD, somebody told me, "Oh, there is advertisement in UPSC about Indian Forest Service." I appeared there, got selected, came in the first few positions, got my posting there. Meanwhile, I had appeared for next civil service exam because in villages, everybody says, you know, the highest position is either police station in charge or SP. So I appeared in UPSC again, gave my option as Indian Police Service, and I joined that. That
wonderful.
takes me to IPS. And how simple the village people are. When I got selected into IPS, I went to my village. By that time, we had started living in the city, Amritsar. I went to meet my grandmother from father's side. And I told her that I have got selected like in Punjab. She said, "Oh, like, you know, what will you be?" I said, SSP, Senior Superintendent of Police. That is what they say.
Right.
They know more as SSP rather than SP. So she said, "But Thanedar kado banega?" In English, it is that when will you become Thanedar?
Yeah, yeah.
Thanedar, Droga, or police inspector. I said, "Never."
Yeah, yeah.
So she said, "Then what is the use?" So I said, "No, I will be above Thanedar." So that is my story about joining Indian Police Service.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So once you joined the services,
Yeah.
how were your initial days like, or first few experiences, or
Yeah.
something that you learned and you would want to kind of that got into you or something?
I mean, I think my learning started in the training itself. Of course, other than the law, the subjects and outdoors and everything you learn. You learn horse riding, you learn weapon training, weapon tactics, everything law. And at the same time, I learned that you should not take things for granted because life itself is so short. You never know what is going to happen tomorrow. I came for my marriage in Delhi in the last week of October 84 to get married. Then this assassination of Prime Minister happened, Indira Gandhi, and followed by 1st November thing. 1st November was my wedding in New Delhi. We lost quite a lot. We had moved like 6 vehicles, only 2 reached. I managed to survive. And that time is, that is a full chapter. We can talk
Right.
for hours together about how things happened. I survived. But that is one lesson that, okay, if you have, once you come out of such situation, there are 2 options for you. Either you become equally bad and you say, okay, no, I will let me get into, I will get these rascals sorted out. Or second is that you say, okay, now from today onwards, your whole life is like borrowed life. So you do something good. So that was in the training. And other than the material loss which was other than academic loss, because which I have always stood first in my institution. In IPS, half of the exams are held in the beginning, half after 6 months, and half were to be held in the first week of November. And I could not reach there because I'm stuck in Delhi. So the topper in every batch of IPS gets Prime Minister's revolver and baton. I never could get it because I could neither be considered with the previous batch, 1983, my own batch. I appeared for the half of the exams with the next batch. And in various subjects, I got some of the highest marks in the next year, including in my year. And I made a petition to the police academy that I should be considered for topper position. They said it will be injustice for either of the batches because your batch has already topper has been declared, marking you as absent. And next batch, if we declare you, then it will be injustice to those people because half of your exam results are from the previous year. Anyway, that is it. So I got into Manipur, went there. Nobody came to receive me despite sending a message. So nobody was there at the airport. So one nice looking gentleman from IAS, he came to me, seeing my IPS sword. He said, oh, nobody has, you are new? I said, yes, I have just joined, and he introduced. So I gave my greetings to him. He said, okay, I will call them, and meanwhile you come with me. He dropped me to the police headquarters, where I went there to and checked it, that why it was. So somewhere somebody, one person's failure, those were not the days of cell phones. So somebody failed to send the message next, and they did not arrange. So accommodation was arranged, and that day I decided, this was a big lesson for me. One, always keep a contingency plan. Don't trust one. I had informed them officially. Maybe I should have found some other old colleagues, searched it, sent it to. Always keep a contingency plan. That was one lesson. Second, what you have not got in life, ensure that the others get that in life. So next batch when arrived, I went to the airport to receive my juniors. And when they thanked me, I said, don't thank me. Your thank you will be that next year you go to receive your junior batch. And that tradition continued, at least till I knew. Till then it continued. So this was one, and everywhere in Manipur, wherever I went there to the most difficult places, where nobody was willing to go, they will send me. Anywhere counterinsurgency operation is to be done, it will be send Sandhu, as if his body is bulletproof. I had done commando training. I was the first police officer in Manipur in IPS who went to do commando training as an IPS officer from there. So afterwards it was wherever there is a problem, law and order problem, send Sandhu. Anything other than terrorist operation, send him. Somebody is kidnapped, taken somewhere, go send him. So then it continued that, okay, you, with whatever job you do it good. And if people trust you, then okay, you. That's how it, Manipur went there. And after Manipur, when I was selected to join CBI, the Manipur government, the DGP had to request me to stay for a couple of months more till they can find my replacement. And Manipur, even now, up to now, this, you know how it is going on. It is in the news. Recently, some newspaper even wrote that they should find me where I am and send me to Manipur to control the situation. It's a big, is a certificate, is appreciation.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
me, it is like
Absolutely,
if somebody whom I don't even know is writing here.
Yeah, yeah.
So learned a lot of lessons there. How to had nothing, and the biggest lesson I learned in Manipur is how to manage when you have nothing, and how to behave when you have everything. One stage, I became so powerful that almost anything I could do, or that was the perception.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
And that type of perception normally should give you a bit of arrogance.
Yeah.
But I tried to keep myself down to earth, that
Yeah.
okay, you never know. Lost lot of people there. So even some, in one operation, the person sitting next to me got shot right there and died. So that lesson I learned was that life, between life and death, there is only difference of few centimeters or few seconds.
Wow, wow. Yeah.
So it's did my best, I can say,
Yeah.
and learned a lot there. And I owe whatever I am today to what I did in Manipur and what I learned from that doing there. Surviving under almost impossible conditions, where there was no road, I could go there.
Yeah.
I can give incidents from Manipur, like hundreds of various incidents. And even after training, when I started, I went for an undercover operation. I went for one night and came back after 1 week,
Oh my God. Okay.
in the age when there were no cell phones.
Yeah, yeah.
And for that, I am grateful to my wife, a newly married wife who knows her husband has gone for one night and does not come, and what has happened. Nobody knew I was alive or not in another country on an undercover operation.
Yeah. Can you explain the situation where you were the chief of police at Manipur, which was a defining moment in your life?
Ameya, when I was superintendent of police in Manipur, there are so many defining moments. Let's say, first time when I became superintendent of police of a district, you have the whole district, the entire police. I was a young boy, and that is the time when you have to have open mind, that you should learn. You should not say, I am the big boss.
Yeah, yeah.
So I saw all those old people, my reader and others. So those who had many years, so I learned from them that, okay, how the office work is done and all. And it started. But there are many things happened during that time which shaped some of the thinking, behavior, and really when you see which is right, which is wrong type of situations. I start with Tamilong, that was my first posting, young SP, wanted to improve everything, was all the time, wherever the operation is there, always lead from the front. I was already commando trained, so physically fit, mentally alert, everything. So the very first incident happened, my driver's wife one night, suddenly driver came running to me, almost crying, because driver's accommodation was just below the SP's accommodation, just on the side, came running. So my wife is, I don't know what happened to her. So I went there with my wife. We saw, and she was like, absolutely, it looked like may die or something. We are not medical doctors. So I immediately sent him. I said, take my number one vehicle, bring the doctor district hospital DMO.
Yeah.
Tell him I have sent. And in those places, if SP of a district asks for, the people do come.
Yeah.
He came immediately. He looked at, he said, we need this medicine. Now I saw much time has passed, 86. So I said, okay, take my vehicle, go to hospital, bring that. He said, we don't have in the hospital. There is only one medical shop.
Yeah, yeah.
Near the hospital where it is available.
Yeah.
As a district hospital in charge, he knew. So I said, okay, go and get. He said, no, but that person comes from a village and he closed the shop and has gone. He will come tomorrow.
Right.
And by tomorrow, till tomorrow morning, she may not survive. So what is I said, come, I'm going with you. Took 5, 6 policemen, went there, broke the lock of the medical store. Okay. I said, you know the medicine you can identify? He said, yes, I know that one is visible. And he picked up that, lock is broken. I put 2 policemen on duty there whole night. That next day when the owner comes, bring him straight to my office. And we got his lock repaired and all at police expenses.
Yeah.
So the big lesson there is that it gives you satisfaction, saving a life.
Yeah.
Saving a life is more important than taking a life. Especially in counter-terrorism, those situations do happen.
Yeah.
But this was where really you feel that you could be instrumental in saving that.
Yeah.
And that time you don't think twice that breaking a lock is illegal or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is required, is required.
Yeah.
That was one incident which I still remember. Second one was one of our inspectors in the reserve line. He came to my office. I was in office in uniform, came bleeding, all bleeding. And I said, what happened? So he said that constable has hit him on the face and his tooth is broken and smashed. I said, okay, send him for medical first aid, and called my reader. I said, go and check what happened, why that boy. And the story he gave, I'll tell you very quickly. This reserve line, this inspector in the morning was drunk and put those people on duty, and he saw this young constable's wife in Manipur. They are very pretty. He saw a very pretty young girl, because they all have, like, police constables have very small accommodations in that. So he thought, okay, he sent her husband for duty to the bank guard for that day. And the moment they left with their guns, he entered the house, and he wanted her to dance with him, and he said you drink, and in the morning at virtually 8:30, 9 o'clock. So meanwhile, as luck would have it, the police constable suddenly remembered something. Or maybe newly married, young, beautiful wife, something. He said, oh, I have to rush back. I will run back home and join the rest, because they used to walk up to the bank for duty. An alone person with gun cannot walk in those areas in Manipur, because somebody will attack terrorist group or something. So he gave his rifle to next man. Take mine also. I will run, pick up my something. Maybe man just wanted to come and kiss his wife one more time, or whatever be the reason. We don't know. He said he forgot his watch. This is what he told me. And when he saw this inspector doing this, he gave him solid smash. When I heard this story, so when the inspector came, I said, okay, register case of molestation against the inspector. Send him for alcohol test, and the test should be only for alcohol. Injury is not part of the case. Alcohol, we will prosecute him for molestation. And that inspector happened to be brother of my boss in the state headquarters. So after some time, when we did not take any action against the young constable, 20-something one, I said, go, okay, no problem, you did the right thing, I told him. Go ahead. And then my boss called me from state headquarters, that what have you done? You, rather than making case against the constable for assaulting a senior inspector, you have done the opposite. And I told him that is what did he. Not that. So that was also, it's not that the higher person is always right. You have to do justice. This incident always will remain in my mind. This was in Tamenglong. Came to as commanding officer of a battalion. There I put in my office, I had put it, never tell your soldiers to do something that you yourself cannot do. You may not have to do. General Montgomery's quotable quote that never tell your soldiers to do what you yourself cannot do. I had put it in my office behind my wall, where they put tiger, because commanding officer is tiger. So I had put that so that anybody entering knows that I can do. And to prove that, once I gave physical punishment to those days, it was possible. Still in the armed forces, we give it. So some habitual absentee was brought to me. So what punishment? I said, okay, meet me tomorrow here outside, morning PT time, 7:30. Punishment is do push-ups till I do the push-ups. That boy happened to be little stronger, so I kept on doing. And that also gave me a lesson that mental strength is much more important than the physical strength. So after doing something like 60 something push-up, I was looking like this, that, oh, I gave a wrong challenge. This man appears to be today. How do I get up, wriggle out of that? How do I get up? So I was thinking, okay, I will make one more and then I will get up and say something.
Yeah.
That, okay, this is enough, go and do something else.
Yeah.
But I looked on the side and I saw him flat on his tummy. It gave me, more mental strength.
Yeah.
After that, I did 4 more push-ups. 4, got up, caught hold of him from his shorts, literally lifted like up, and I said, okay, 10 rounds of the ground,
Yeah.
and then come and see me.
Yeah.
So it sent the message in the entire battalion that the commanding officer can do anything that you do better than you. And same thing happened in many operations. Whenever we led lot of counter-insurgency operations, you have to do, that's part of your job.
Yeah.
And I was always there in the front.
Very nice.
Always. And thankfully I survived and I'm sitting with you talking today.
Very
So
happy.
this one, and even in after that, next one in Manipur, where another district very troubled, Ukhrul, which is the headquarter of NSE and insurgency. There are many such defining moments of that, where there was no road going there and all, and take the risk on you.
Yeah.
One night we got a message, me and Deputy Commissioner, it was a party at my home, that governor is going to a town, a village in the border with helicopters coming from state headquarters, and obviously we have to go by road whole night. 10:30 we started. Next day 1:30 we reached there in the village, and on the way there was no road, landslides, all mud. Those roads can never, I don't think they will be ever black-topped, at least not in my lifetime. It looks like those roads. So on the way we saw landslides, so we called some villagers. By that time it was around 2 a.m. Came, they cleared little. So then finally decided that 3 jeeps, we had 3 jeeps, one by one we will take it. And the first one, you have to literally push it into the mountain.
Yeah.
It's a right-hand drive maximum. And from your driver's side, below, if you see 200 meters, if you fall down, the vehicle will go down with you.
Oh.
So I told all of them, all the armed people, get out of the vehicle. First one, I sat on the driver's seat. I said, okay, let me take it. And I crushed the jeep right into the soft hill. It went through that and across that.
Whoa.
And I was not scared. I was.
Yeah.
You have to manage risk and take calculated risk, but not that. They say there is a very thin line of difference between bravery and stupidity. Bravery is good, but you have to calculate. I calculated that I can do it.
Yeah.
If you are scared, you will fall down.
Right.
So first vehicle I did it, then I got down, recomposed myself, took the second vehicle. Then the third driver picked up courage. Sir, if you can do it, you can risk so much, we will also. And third one he did it. So told the villagers that by the time tomorrow we come back, make some more space. But like this, there are many incidents, many incidents from Manipur time. No wonder people still. I got recently one email from SP of that district. He said, he wrote like this, sir, I was, the year you were in IPS, I was born that year, and I am now SP here, and people still talk of you. This is what you leave behind. You don't need medals. You don't need some medal there to put it on that. Those come of their own.
Yeah. So much more
They
valuable.
come. You keep working, they come, like this Nobel Peace Prize. It comes. There are many other police medals, they will come. So there are many defining moments, but I can say these few memories which, even in the battalion, there was one which again showed me, the politicians, sometimes they say, oh, politicians dictate and all.
Yeah.
Politicians, especially back home, here it is not, there is no interference, at least visible. But back home in India, political interference is talked a lot. It only happens when you allow it.
Right.
There are many, I'm not saying all are bad. There are some who, when asked to bend, they start crawling. From when I was battalion commandant, deputy commandant and assistant commandants used to go every day to visit those posts where we had given security to the ministers, to chief minister house, governor house. So this deputy commandant that they went there and he wrote on that register every day that the honorable minister wanted 3 more security people informally. He's given 1 plus 9 means 1 section commander and 9 more, 3 more. So I wrote on that. I receive orders from the headquarters, not from any minister. And this man, trying to be more loyal than the king, took the register and went to that minister. The minister said that how dare this commanding officer have this one? He called my boss, and my boss called me from his office. I went in uniform, saluted him, and he said, I asked, I said, no, every man is accounted for. I am commanding 1,000 armed men. Their life, they will sacrifice their life to protect me, and I also have a duty.
Right.
Get the government order in writing to post 3 more, I will do it. Informally, I cannot give because tomorrow there is a blast at your house. 9 people will get compensation. They will say, oh, there were only 9 posted.
Yeah.
Everybody is accounted for. So you bend, then they want you to start crawling.
Right.
And I can proudly say that I did my job. This was another, you can say, defining moment where people learned that no, you cannot be.
How was your transition from national to international services? So you were in the CBI, you did all this, and then you went to Interpol. So how did this happen, and what like differences did you see?
See, actually, my going to CBI itself, because from Manipur when I went to CBI, they were saying like they could not find my replacement as SP Ukhrul district. It was so disturbed. Nobody wanted to go. So they were saying if somebody can complete 1 year, it will be credit. And they used to say that if you complete 1 year in those days in Ukhrul, your aging will be by 10 years.
Wow.
I spent 3 years full there, survived, and then afterwards was requested to stay for a couple of months more till they find replacement. And I was saying, so long as it does not jeopardize my posting to CBI. So finally I joined CBI. And in CBI happened to be lucky. Wherever I go, somehow, coincidentally, there's some case, some money is recovered. The famous case of Sukhram happened, Minister of Telecommunication. Straightway my case right from first to the end.
Wonderful. Okay.
That paved my way to international. Without CBI, it would not have happened. But in CBI, I did so many cases that time. You name a case, big case from 1994 to 1997. Any big case in the country, somehow I was associated with that.
Wow.
Getting money here, getting this one in Karnataka, in so many. I don't want to go into the names of those individual politicians.
Yeah.
So quite a lot of them. And I used to say, corruption is secular.
Yeah.
Corruption, you get people from all groups.
Yeah.
And corruption is apolitical because you get corrupt people from every political party. I have investigated during CBI time all these cases. But when this telecommunication case happened, did it all. And, just diverting. It gave me another very good lesson before we go to Interpol, that success has many fathers and failure is an orphan. When I got that successful raid in which the money cash was found, which was highest till then. Nowadays people talk of 1,000 crores and whatnot, but that time, when we got the money from minister's house, it became national news. Every day it was there, and then everybody wanted to take a credit.
Right.
The then Prime Minister wanted to take a credit by giving speaking that, see, I gave CBI free hand. That was the real free hand. Yes, That was the real free hand. That don't tell what to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. In Karnataka, in Bangalore, I did all of PC Dental College. Supreme Court justice gave that order directly, that in my name, that I will personally investigate and report to the Supreme Court directly the progress, and I did it.
Yeah.
So these type of cases happened, and in Delhi it was like every week somebody was being caught.
Yeah.
That is the time when Interpol position, India has one only. It came and CBI internally advertised. So there were 17 people, and finally I got selected. Press jumped up that, oh, he was getting too hot for the politicians to handle. So they are sending him outside. So two types of stories appeared.
Yeah.
The director CBI said he's being sent as a reward for all the good work done. Some other party started saying it is a punishment for, because he was getting too hot to handle for the politician. So this is how I ended up in Interpol.
How did you see the transition from this
Yeah.
so national to international?
Okay,
Like these,
very good. So it's so much difference. You know, the basic policing we say is same. Policemen everywhere, they think alike. These are the things. But going to Interpol, I started preparing 10-15 days before. When I used that time to equip myself to be suitable for working abroad. So I started studying. In India, we were so much used to giving dictations to the personal assistant. Dear so and so, write this letter like this and type it. Then they correct it.
Yeah.
First time I myself started learning computer. We had learned in the police academy basic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I told my assistant that to sit here with me, teach me everything in the computer, from Word document to everything, whatever it is. And I learned making PowerPoint presentation.
Right.
So when I reached Interpol, my team was to make a presentation just within 2 or 3 months. International money laundering conference was there. My team, I was in the anti-money laundering unit. So they asked me, can you make this presentation? It was so impressive because the first day when I went there, somebody asked me, oh, do you have computers in India? That showed ignorance of somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
But doesn't mean everyone thought that.
Yeah.
And another thing, I was prepared that everything you do it yourself.
Yeah.
There is nobody to carry your bag to your car, and there is nothing, you drive your own car. And I was mentally prepared. That is a big difference. Another thing, transition was, there is no political interference. There is no boss's interference. Everybody does his or her job.
Yeah.
During Interpol time, I went to make a presentation in Doha, and I met a former Interpol chief from UK, former one. He was sharing in the at the evening drinks a very nice anecdote. He said, he asked me when I made presentation, you made this PowerPoint yourself? I said, yes, I do it.
Yeah.
He said, you are from India, because I'm talking of 1997 and 8.
Yeah.
So he's much older. So I said, why you say? He said, I think in India, all officers at your grade and higher, they don't do anything themselves. So I said, how can you say? He said, I went to Delhi many years back. And I asked the same question to everybody, from constable to the Director General of Police. Same question. What do you do?
Yeah.
And everybody kept on saying, I supervise 5 people, I supervise 10 people, I supervise 20,000 people.
Yeah.
So it's supervising. And he said, my next question was, no, supervision is not job. Supervision is additional thing you do. But actually what you do. So I learned that you have to, like there, you make your photocopy yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back home, it was never heard of at senior levels.
Yeah.
You press the bell, you call it, or so that culture, it was a big transition.
Right.
And I was mentally prepared, so I never had even one day that problem.
Yeah.
And rather, I used it as to show that we are better than all of you.
Yeah.
Then even cooperation, international cooperation, and all that. Really, you get to understand the intricacies of international cooperation. Yeah.
How important do you think is cooperation between countries?
Yeah.
in handling such things that involve many nations and all. Takeaways from handling transnational crimes.
Yeah, again, Ameya, this is another, you have done good homework. It's a good question because, what happens is when we see, like talking of India, you see Nirav Modi, you see Vijay Mallya, you see Mehul Choksi, you see so many other people. They left India and they could never, still at least for so many years, they haven't been brought back.
Yeah.
And on one hand, we talk of international cooperation and all. There is a concept, they call it mutual legal assistance. We have those treaties, extradition treaties, mutual legal assistance treaties, all of those. But why it does not work? This is where the real challenge comes, because criminals know no boundaries.
Yeah.
They can go anywhere. And with them, even neither their dirty money knows any boundary. They stash all these funds. It takes more time for you to come from the Brussels station to here. Then the money will be moved around the world in 5-6 countries.
Wow.
They move from India to Cayman Island to Vanuatu to somewhere else, and it lands up in London. By the time the person comes there to enjoy that money in London. But when you want to get information about those transactions, it will take you on an average 12 to 36 months to get even information about that.
Oh Lord, okay.
So people say, when we have so much, why the mutual legal assistance does not work? Reason? One, different legal systems. So the criminals exploit those loopholes. Different legal systems. Second, clash of bureaucracies.
Right.
Well, then too much emphasis on sovereignty. If he's our national, we don't do anything. He has property in our home, so it becomes that is where those who have sometimes they use whichever passport it is. Right. And in some countries, you spend money, they give you diplomatic passport.
Yes.
You go to Liberia, the president Charles Taylor, now he's in prison. He will give you diplomatic passport if you spend 5 million. This is what he told me face to face. He said, you put 5 million, I will give you also a passport. So why you are asking me this question when I was questioning him on some case?
Yeah.
So this is another. Then incapacity of some nations to work with each other.
Right.
That we know where this historical difference is.
Yeah.
Then ego.
Yeah.
Then who gets the credit? If the person is who gets the spoils of the war? So all these factors, they make it that even though the systems are in place, it's very difficult to get the person, and especially if they can afford a very expensive lawyer.
Right.
Then they will always get away with that. It takes one after the other. We see these 3-4 examples I give. There are many others.
Very interesting.
So that is the problem. So, but it is very important, and I say in all this scenario, all this you can say sad scenario, the informal police to police cooperation is very effective. In Interpol, for example, I was there long time back, but I still use those contacts sometimes.
Right.
Informal police to police information, we can get from any country. When I was there, I could get from our neighboring countries where you will never get any information. Wonderful. Informally, police to police.
Right.
Similar, when like on money laundering, I got from many countries. Then another thing that people don't do it is, sending a dead email or letter is not effective. Your personal one contact. I have this my own style, not learned from any book. Made it. If I send somebody something is urgent, I need it, or important, I will make a call, even if it is half a minute call, 30 seconds call. I will say, good morning, my friend, how are you all? I'm sending you one email. Even before that, I'm sending you, please look at that. So in his 1,000 other emails, he will know that this he has to respond.
Right.
I was in World Food Program. There was some University of Karachi. One of our staff had degrees, fake degree. 2 fake degrees
Wow.
from,
Okay.
and with that one was University of Karachi label and all. My predecessor had written, after that HR had written to that university to say whether it is genuine degree or not genuine degree. No response, no response,
No
not
response.
no acknowledgement. By that time when I see it, I pick up my informal 1:1. I call the person there, a senior functionary, and he said, okay, in in few hours, the vice chancellor of the university will call you.
Wonderful.
That is informal,
Works.
because he with him formal one has been going on for years. Informal, from him when the message goes, the vice chancellor calls me back
Yeah.
and says, I am traveling, I am in London today, but somebody from my office will send you that response.
Wonderful.
And that was the evidence we needed. We knew it was fake.
Yeah. Yeah.
But how you take action against the person?
Yeah.
Unless the university says it is fake, they never issued. So they wrote that this candidate number had totally different name that year. So this is printed somewhere fake degree.
Right.
And there are some universities which are more notorious in issuing, not that they issue fake degrees, their template they use it for issuing fake degrees.
Degrees.
So this is my emphasis always on. One is personal contact.
Right.
You can invariably get this mutual cooperation succeed. Of course, if you need that evidence for prosecution, then you need to get it legally.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you need it for your investigation, lead purpose, operational purpose,
Yeah.
intelligence purposes, trying to prevent something from happening, then informal is the best. And definitely Interpol does a very good job in that.
Very, very nice.
But ultimately it comes on the individuals,
Yeah. Yeah.
whether you are here or there.
Yeah.
I hope I have addressed your question.
Yeah. It's very clear. Very clear.
Yeah.
You mentioned the World Food Program, and
Yeah.
that's also somehow one of the things that probably is a highlight.
Yeah.
You were instrumental in a lot of things there, and it ended up getting the Nobel Peace Prize in 2020.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit of simple words about the program itself for the
Yeah.
audience, and also, how it felt when it reached such a success?
You know, World Food Program, we say, is the largest humanitarian agency. Not one of the largest, the largest humanitarian agency. Wherever there is conflict and food is to be delivered,
Yeah.
WFP is there.
Wow.
Ukraine, WFP went there. Yemen, WFP went there. Wherever earthquake happens, WFP goes there, first one. WFP has got 5,000, at least this was the figure when I left.
Right.
Now must have increased.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was the last figures, because when I last, during my retirement was speaking, I mentioned this figure, 5,600 trucks.
Wow. Okay.
And around 50 aeroplanes, no, 50 ships and 100 aeroplanes.
Lord. Okay. That's
And they take this, all the humanitarian assistance wherever it is required. During COVID, when no airlines were operating, WFP's UNHAS, United Nations Humanitarian Air Service, was operating flights in that. And Nobel Peace Prize, why it was given to WFP? Again, I'm reading from the letter that the Peace Committee issued it, the reason justifying. They say this prize is being given for WFP's efforts to combat hunger and for its contribution to bettering conditions for peace in conflict. It's like food for peace.
Yeah.
Without food, there will be no peace. And then for acting as a driving force in efforts to prevent the use of hunger as a weapon of war and conflict. WFP provided school meals to more than 17.3 million children in 15 countries. And I have seen it myself. I went to Afghanistan, Iraq. Many of the parents send their children to school only because of WFP food. Because child goes to the school,
Yeah.
so per family member the child is given food,
Right.
and that goes for the whole family.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they have interest. So it also helps in education.
Right.
Otherwise, they will not come to school. They want the children to work, earn something.
Yeah.
But if they come to school, they get the food.
Yeah.
But you are chief of investigations.
Yeah.
What do you do in the WFP?
Yeah.
And I used to say that, look, every 25 US dollars cent, 25 cents stolen means one child goes hungry.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is a World Bank's figure that 25 cent stolen means one child goes hungry in the world somewhere because of that.
Yeah.
So I said, if I can stop food diversion and reduce corruption or fraud by a little,
Yeah.
let's say I stop some few million, how much I have done? Is it not humanitarian work?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's not only because if that money, does it really go to beneficiary? That was part of my job to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does it go or it gets diverted somewhere? Are the rich becoming richer? When we are giving to beneficiaries, not that every time it goes to them, there are people who want to steal it along the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
I think WFP did deserve. The day it happened, that 10th December 2020, I was in my office. My Norwegian colleague who had worked with me in Yugoslavia tribunal, he called me from Oslo. He said, congratulations. I said, what for? I thought he's congratulating me for my retirement, which will be in 1 month. It was 1 month before my retirement. So I said, what congratulations for? He said, oh, you are getting Nobel Peace Prize. WFP is getting. I said, no, WFP. We are not working on peace or
Yeah.
He said, no, it's right now, ongoing.
Yeah.
So switch on the TV, it is in the news.
Yeah.
And I switched on and I saw that news. We all were very happy, obviously excited. And I wear it always on that. This is Nobel Peace Prize. We say Nobel Peace Prize, Alfred Nobel. One quote which fits in so well with the World Food Programme's work. It is, he said, I would rather take care of the stomachs of the living than the glory of the departed in the form of monuments. And WFP
powerful.
has been doing that since its inception. And I'm proud to have spent almost 9 years in World Food Programme.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
It will,
Of course,
yeah,
congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Slightly off topic though.
Yeah.
You worked with so many different bodies across the world. How do you see the perception of the Indian diaspora contributing to transnational efforts or towards your field as well? So,
Indian diaspora is doing a lot. I will say that over the years, if you see a lot of high level people are everywhere. But normally it is, two-way traffic. All those Indian diaspora or any country's diaspora, whichever country they live.
right.
So for them, it is like 1 foot here and 1 foot in gateway of India, if it is Indian.
Yeah.
So they love the country where they are living. They are part of that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they also want to be part of the country back home. So they contribute remittances, if you see the figures.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to technicalities of the how much remittance went. We can check those figures. And it's doing a lot. Even in my field, law enforcement, you see in some of the tribunals, in Hague Peace, there is one justice from there. Of course, we should get more, considering India's position, India's population, India's economy. But definitely one thing here is diaspora has been doing, as we are in FCCI, we see it, that getting India a permanent Security Council member seat.
Yeah.
Diaspora has been playing a lot of role, and I think they can continue playing more, because this lobbying everywhere with important countries, this diaspora can do better than people back home. That's my feeling.
Absolutely.
Because they are with those people. They are getting into their own politics in the country where they are living. Of course, in US, Canada, and UK is more.
Yeah.
But other countries are also picking up. I have seen in Interpol, I have seen in various other UN agencies, if somebody comes there and he's doing good, he has chances to go higher. Sometimes the country insists, no, you come back, we will send someone again.
Yeah.
On this, I can speak for Another one are to give example specifics, but I don't want to name in this,
Right.
where people had chances of getting a more higher important international position,
Yeah. Yeah.
but somebody in the country wants to send somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So as a result, you lose that institutional memory in that place.
Right. Right.
We need to build that institutional memory of our diaspora people outside, and then try to get more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, for example, even in Interpol, is one Interpol. UN has many agencies, one Interpol. We have one position for India.
Yeah.
Why? One.
Yeah.
So, if one person goes there and moves up, we should try to get more.
Yeah.
Getting the one person in a senior management. Now, of course, they opened another center in Singapore where there is one.
Looking forward a little bit,
Yeah.
what do you think are the biggest global challenges in crime and these things coming up in your vision
Yeah.
or some ideas that you have?
See, one of the real biggest challenge, as I said in between on some issues, that criminals know no geographical boundaries,
Right.
and it is even becoming the boundaries now are even getting more obliterated, removed, and their money doesn't know any. So we have to also be equally effective.
Yeah.
Then new techniques. Many times what happens is that criminals are one step ahead. We try to catch up with them, and by the time they have moved on, because they can hire some of the best brains.
Right. Yeah.
They can hire some of the best legal experts to defend them. So we have to, we are always playing catch up game.
Yeah. Yeah.
So technology is a big, technology we say is very good. Yes, it is a very good tool for investigation. It is very good tool for other, but it is also a very good tool for the criminals.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then end of the day, technology has its limitations. It's the human element
Yeah.
that controls it. So human element, we of course definitely we have good human element, but then combination of the two,
Yeah.
we have to. And now this artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
oh, that is a nightmare, I tell you. We can have a full podcast on artificial intelligence and its impact on the crime. Digital technologies,
Yeah.
and the artificial intelligence, these two will be. And then this conflict. Conflict is becoming a big handicap for the enforcement to implement those.
Right. Yeah.
Criminals who are prepared to spend money, they can go and hide anywhere their money.
Yes. Yeah.
You pay to the local dictator and do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
I've seen it in Liberia, I've seen it in Somalia, in Sierra Leone.
Right.
So these are the big challenges in the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you spoke about the human element. So I want to bring in. You've done so many things, and I can't imagine how taxing it must be on you, on all the people who are very close to you, and your wife, your family. What else do you do to kind of keep yourself composed? And you're so energetic even after retirement, and you're doing so much. Probably doing more even after retirement now. How do you? Yeah. What keeps you?
Actually, Ameya, this you need family support in that. When I went to Manipur immediately after marriage, my wife supported me everywhere. She knew the type of job I was doing. Once I heard her talking to somebody in the ladies and policemen, we have parties, and they were talking, and then I thought I owe her a lot more than what I'm giving. Because she was saying when he leaves in the morning, I don't know he's going to come back in the evening or not.
Yeah.
So family support. She never made it difficult for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wherever difficult area I went, she was with me. Of course, at home, with due security and all we do, but still family support.
Yeah.
And my own outlet is gardening that you can see here. This all is planted by me in the last 2 years. Everything here, what you are seeing.
Yeah.
Every type of vegetable I grow. Everything. So whenever I'm free from my work, to take my mind out of those things, I immediately go to garden and work there.
Wonderful.
And the same thing I was doing even in Manipur, where we had all those people. I used to work there in the garden, and the men will come running. I will do, but no, that is my very good outlet. And no regrets. Knowingly have done, never, knowingly I'm saying, have never done anything wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Knowingly have never been instrumental in getting an innocent person punished.
Right.
So that mental satisfaction.
Yeah. Yeah.
That also keeps you going, and that keeps you balanced.
Absolutely.
I never felt that pressure of that, but when you really want to have some rest, that is the gardening, and walking, running.
Wonderful.
So those things we take
Very
care.
clear answer. I was about to ask you how you handle ethical dilemmas because that's also one of the things, but you already brought that up.
Yeah, it's a,
Very nice
no, sure.
answer.
If you do what is good, and if you are in a ethical dilemma situation, you're somewhere in your heart, you know what is right out of the two.
Very interesting.
You
Yeah,
get that feeling,
Mm-hmm.
and then of course sometimes political pressure, bosses pressure, do this, that,
Yeah,
that you have to live with that.
yeah.
We all face ethical dilemma every day in work, in personal life, all. But I think have done fairly well on that count.
Definitely wish
Okay.
to see that. uh, on this note, how is there some advice to, let's say, young Indians who probably want to get into such services but have very different kinds of advice given to them and all of that? You want to say something to people like that, or someone already in Indian services and they want to transition to international policing and international investigative agencies or the UN or something like that? It's an open question, so whatever
Yeah.
you feel like saying.
Ameya, I will say that one is there are no shortcuts. You have to keep, if you have something in focus, you want to do it. One time you don't get it, do it again.
Yeah.
And secondly, again, I said somewhere that no job is good or bad, is how you do the job that makes the difference.
Right.
And if you walk out fairly and squarely in the middle of the road, I think everything falls in place. And keep learning. I'm learning till today.
Right.
I'm teaching, I'm learning both. Because learning should never stop.
Right.
Many times they say, oh, you don't have experience, but unless you give the person a job, how will the person get experience?
Yeah.
This is like experience, there is something about that you have to make mistakes to get experience.
Yeah.
And you make it, you live with that, learn from that and move on.
Yeah.
Lessons learned. And career wise is, I think, qualification all these days, the younger generation is quite well informed. But my advice only is that whatever you do it well. And if you want to be in the law enforcement at international level and all, then keep looking for that. And at sometimes, yes, there are blocks. Not that in my path there were no blocks.
Yeah.
They used to be like, I said once that every stumbling block in my way became a stepping stone. You block me from one path and I get a better second one.
Yeah.
So you take it as a hurdle.
Yeah.
Maybe during my athletics I was high hurdler. 110-meter high hurdles I did at university.
Yeah. Wow.
In my university, I got in my university college, got first position in 110 high hurdles.
Wow.
So I know how to jump hurdles, but hurdles will keep coming on your way. So I think the young people, that's why they say if the young knew and the old could do, there is nothing in the world that cannot be done.
Yeah.
So the young need to know.
Yeah.
They need to have open mind. They need to learn.
Yeah.
Keep learning, and then keep practicing. You will succeed. Okay. Thank you.
So, is there anything else you want to say? Anything else that you wish I had asked, or something you want to add?
Thank you, Ameya. Thank you for this opportunity. And definitely, I believe a lot in that knowledge should be shared.
Yeah.
I tell you one thing just to add. When I make presentations, people ask me, can I use your slides? I say, use it. I never copyright what I write. My PowerPoint presentations, you copy and paste and use it as your own.
Yeah.
Because knowledge, how can knowledge be copyrighted?
Yeah.
So and you asked, definitely your questions all were very, very well thought of. But I think there is nothing that I feel you left out.
So
you did cover,
to the
but
research team. Yeah.
Thank you, and it will clear some of the doubts, especially those who think that policemen are like, we don't come from different planet. Police, law enforcement are same people. So they also have their same feelings. They have their same human rights. Many organizations talk a lot of human rights of the terrorist, of the criminal.
Yeah.
We also have human rights.
Yeah.
If I go for one night and I spend 7 and my wife, what about her human rights?
Yeah.
Nobody talks of that. Your
Yeah.
family has humor, right? They want also on festivals. They also want
Yeah.
you be with them.
Yeah.
But then who will control? I'll share with you the policeman how many type of things we do. I've written
Right.
few of those.
Mm-hmm.
We have to have 3 pair of eyes, one on this side, one on this side, one, and behave nicely with people who are willing to smash your head at the slightest political provocation.
Mm.
So, but of course, you did cover all of that. You touched upon that. And thank you so much for this time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you.